My name is Giovanni Romano. I am 82 years old. Out on the streets, people called me many things. Some called me Maestro, the Master, but most of them just walked past me as if I didn't exist. I was born in 1943 in Naples, Italy, when the echoes of war still filled the skies. My father worked in a little cafe by the harbor, and in the corner of that cafe stood an old, worn-out piano. Chipped keys, faded wood, but to me, it was an entire world. I remember when sailors returned from long journeys at sea, weary and broken, I sat at that piano, and the notes seemed to comfort their hearts. Some cried, some laughed. I was only 10 years old, yet music had already opened a door for me. I believed it was the gift God placed in my hands. As I grew, music carried me far from that poor street. At 25, I played on grand stages in Rome, Milan, even Paris. I thought I had outrun the hunger, the bombs, the fear. I believed my life would be complete, wrapped in lights and applause. But God often tests us in ways we never expect. At 30 years old, a car accident took away the love of my life, my wife. And just a year later, that same accident took away my legs. From standing ovations, I fell into a hospital bed I could never leave. In those days, I asked God, "Why have you abandoned me? Why did you take everything away?" I sold my piano, I sold my records, I even sold my hope. All that was left was a wheelchair and an empty grief, and then, with nothing else to lose, I rolled myself onto the streets. Across my lap, a broken keyboard. I began to play again, not on golden stages, but beneath bridges, in train stations, and in crowded shelters. I played as the rain poured down on the keys. I played through the noise of traffic, through the cruel glances of passers-by. Some tossed coins, some spat in my case, but still I played, because every note was a piece of who I once was and who I am still struggling to be, because when the music rose, I felt that God had not completely left me. Even without legs, He had left me a song in my heart. For 40 years, my life was the dark corners of the streets. But whenever I looked up at the night sky, I would see a faint light, like a candle glowing in a church. And I realized, maybe He had not abandoned me at all. Maybe He wanted me to play for the forgotten souls, the ones as invisible as I was. And tonight, after a lifetime of alleys and shadows, I sit here under true lights, not street lamps. Tonight, I don't play for ghosts or for rain-soaked streets. Tonight, I play for you, those who are listening, and I pray that in each note I play, you will hear the whisper I've been pouring into the keys all these years, that even from a chair, even from the ruins, a song can still stand tall, that from ashes, from brokenness, God can still write a melody of hope. Tonight, I don't just bring my story to this stage. I bring the tears I have shed, the prayers I whispered in despair, and the fragile faith I have clung to for decades. If you listen closely, you will not just hear an old man playing a piano. You will hear the voice of a heart, reaching for God, reaching for humanity. Thank you for letting me share this story. And now, please allow me to offer you the song of my life.